The next day, the boy launched into the skies once again. His crimson wings spread wide, slicing through the clouds as he soared upward. Determination filled his eyes this time. He wasn't just flying, he was pushing his limits. The wind roared past him, carrying away every trace of hesitation. Far ahead stood his destination, the Sky God Peak. Its sharp summit pierced the heavens like a divine spear. Without slowing down, he ascended higher, the sunlight glinting off his wings as he approached the towering mountain. Each flap carried him closer to the peak, where few dared to go. But just as he gained altitude, a sudden pressure filled the air. Another figure appeared, a man with the same red wings. The boy's instincts screamed danger. The stranger blocked his path midair, radiating an intense aura that forced him to stop. Shock flashed across his face as their eyes met, tension thickening between them. A powerful shockwave erupted as their wings clashed in the sky. The force sent both of them spiraling backward, barely maintaining balance. The boy steadied himself, his wings trembling from the impact, while the wind howled between them. It was clear this wasn't just a random encounter. A new challenge had begun. After stabilizing himself midair, the boy extended his hand forward, channeling energy through his arm. Sparks of light gathered around his fingers, pulsing with controlled power. His focus sharpened, he was preparing to test the invisible force that had stopped his flight. He descended rapidly, landing hard on the ground below. Dust and leaves scattered with the impact as his wings folded back. His gaze immediately lifted toward the mountain peak towering above, his mind racing to understand what just happened. As he approached the base, he finally sensed a faint shimmer in the air surrounding the mountain. He reached out, and a ripple of energy spread through the barrier, confirming his suspicion. "A barrier?" he muttered, puzzled by its divine aura. A soft voice echoed behind him, smooth yet filled with authority. The horned woman appeared beside him, her presence both alluring and intimidating. She explained calmly that this wasn't an ordinary obstacle. It was a divine ward left by a god long ago, meant to block entry. He looked at her in surprise, realizing this challenge was far greater than he expected. Startled, the boy jumped back as the horned woman suddenly emerged beside him. Her sudden appearance made him flinch as he demanded to know why she popped out without warning. The woman simply smirked, brushing her hair aside with casual grace. She told him she appears whenever she pleases, her tone playful yet confident. A contract, she said, couldn't possibly limit her freedom. Still confused, the boy glanced back at the barrier shimmering ahead. He recalled her earlier words about a divine ward and realized what that meant. He couldn't fly through it. The realization left him both frustrated and curious. Looking thoughtful, he turned to her and asked what exactly a god was. Were they similar to the ancient deities once worshipped by mortals? His question hung in the air as the wind rustled the leaves around them, a quiet moment before the truth would unfold. Hearing his question, the horned woman looked toward the sky, her eyes glowing faintly. She explained that the so-called gods were not divine beings at all, just powerful entities who had stolen the essence of natural laws to elevate themselves above others. Her tone grew distant as she continued, admitting that even she didn't fully understand where the ancient gods truly originated from. The mystery of their birth was something hidden beyond her knowledge. The boy's curiosity deepened. He turned to her and asked about her own strength, how powerful she was compared to those higher beings. Her lips curved into a confident smile as dark flames rose behind her. She revealed that in her prime, she had surpassed even the 6th advancement, a level where killing gods was effortless. But she also admitted that her old injuries had weakened her, leaving her unable to unleash her full power. Even so, she warned the boy that if not for her condition, he wouldn't have lasted a second against her true form. Hearing her confident claim, the boy couldn't help but smirk. He thought back to the time when he had first challenged her. Back then, she hadn't even used 1% of her true strength, yet he barely managed to hold his ground. Remembering that moment made him realize just how terrifying her full power must have been. Curious, he asked whether all dragons had the potential to reach her level someday, as he imagined his own dragon companions evolving into powerful beings like her. An ambitious thought crossed his mind. If that were possible, he'd become unstoppable. But before he could get lost in his fantasy, she snapped him back to reality with a stern look. She reminded him that a dragon's growth wasn't that simple. It was a long and grueling process, one that demanded both patience and strength. She then explained that for his dragon pets to reach the level of a dragon king, they'd first need to match the power of a human at the 6th advancement. Only then could they be considered true god slayers. Her words left him in awe, realizing how far he and his companions still had to go. The boy sighed with a faint smile, realizing just how far he still had to go. Despite all his progress, he knew the gap between him and beings like her was enormous. "Looks like I've still got a long way to go," he admitted quietly. The horned woman glanced back at him, amused. She teased him for wasting time daydreaming and told him to focus on his surroundings instead. Her tone was light, but her eyes carried a subtle warning this place wasn't as peaceful as it looked. As they walked deeper into the forest path, she mentioned that this mountain trail was dangerous. Many who entered never returned, as if the mountain itself swallowed them whole. Her words sent a chill down his spine, but he followed without hesitation. While leading the way, she reminded him once more about the divine ruins, the sacred place where equipment crafted from divine bones could be used. Her wings spread slightly as she moved ahead, the golden light filtering through the trees, marking the beginning of their next journey. As they continued deeper into the glowing forest, the horned woman turned to him with curiosity. She asked why he didn't take the opportunity to level up within the secret realm before coming here to seek the bladed armor dragon king's egg. The boy smiled faintly, his confidence showing through. He explained that his real purpose was to let the bladed armor dragon hatchling absorb the spiritual energy of the secret realm first. That way, it could evolve and grow stronger much faster than usual. Hearing his answer, she let out a soft laugh and called him a calculating little man. Though her tone was teasing, her eyes gleamed with a mix of amusement and admiration for his clever thinking. But before their conversation could continue, a surge of blue light streaked through the air. Several energy trails shot past them at blinding speed, signaling that something powerful was fast approaching. Before either of them could react, the ground trembled beneath their feet. The boy's instincts kicked in immediately, his eyes narrowing as he sensed multiple energy signatures surrounding them. The horned woman glanced sharply in the same direction. Something was coming. In an instant, blue light erupted from the forest floor. Energy surged upward as both the boy and the woman prepared for combat, their auras flaring. The air crackled with power as the light solidified into armored shapes. A deep, mechanical voice echoed through the woods, declaring them trespassers in a forbidden land. The booming tone carried divine authority, warning that no one was permitted to defile this sacred place. Moments later, several massive figures emerged, the Crystal Rock clan, glowing with radiant blue energy. Each one wielded a stone spear, their presence heavy and unyielding. The leader, identified as a level 95 believer, radiated immense power as the ground shook with every step it took. The horned woman glanced toward the glowing figures ahead and smirked. She offered to handle the enemies herself, suggesting they count it as their second deal. Her tone was playful, yet her aura hinted that she meant every word. But the boy shook his head with a confident smile. He told her there was no need for her to intervene using her strength. Here would be like smashing a nut with a sledgehammer. He added that she should save her power for the real challenge ahead, the bladed armor dragon king. Amused by his response, the woman chuckled softly. Her sharp gaze softened as she tilted her head and agreed to let him handle it. Leaning back against a tree with a teasing grin, she gestured dramatically toward the enemies and told him to begin his performance. Her voice carried a mocking edge as she called him the mighty dragon slayer, clearly curious to see what he'd do next. The boy clenched his fists, a faint smirk forming on his lips. "Fine by me," he muttered, his aura beginning to surge. This was the perfect chance to test out his new ability, one he hadn't used in real combat yet. A powerful wave of energy burst from his body as dark smoke intertwined with blue light. He activated his latest skill, Shadow Dragon King Aura. His presence shifted instantly, filled with the essence of the Shadow Dragon King's power, increasing his speed and strength dramatically. In a flash, he dashed forward, closing the distance between himself and the towering golems. The ground cracked beneath his feet as he launched his attack, eager to test how effective his third advancement truly was. The Crystal Rock warriors responded immediately, their massive arms glowing as they charged energy through their stone bodies. The forest shook as the clash between shadow and crystal power began a battle that would decide whether his new ability was worthy of the Dragon King's name. The boy charged straight into the battlefield, his Shadow Dragon King aura radiating waves of power. The Crystal Rock warriors launched volleys of blue energy spears, shaking the forest as they rained down like a storm. He dodged effortlessly, weaving through the barrage with incredible speed. Every motion of his body left trails of shadowy light, showing his complete mastery of movement. The air itself trembled under the intensity of his strikes. One of the giant rock golems stepped forward, its crimson eyes glowing brighter as it gathered energy for a devastating attack. Its stone fists cracked the ground beneath it, signaling its intent to crush him in one blow. But the boy didn't flinch. His sword ignited with dragon energy as he raised it high, roaring the name of his technique, breaking the sky. The blade tore through the air, releasing a powerful slash infused with dragon aura that collided head-on with the enemy's attack, shaking the entire battlefield. The blast from his strike shattered the nearest golem, sending fragments of glowing blue crystal scattering across the ground. The remaining ones staggered but quickly regained their stance, their red eyes burning with hostility. He exhaled slowly, lowering his sword as energy rippled around him. A small grin appeared on his face. "This Dragon Tamer aura is pretty damn useful," he muttered, admiring the seamless power coursing through his veins. However, more of the Crystal Rock warriors began to close in, forming a tight circle around him. Their synchronized movement and heavy footsteps made the earth tremble. They weren't going down easily. Undeterred, the boy shifted his stance. His aura flared again, and multiple afterimages of himself appeared, each one preparing for an attack from a different direction. The forest was filled with streaks of shadow and light as he launched his next barrage. The boy's afterimages struck in perfect synchronization, their blades cutting through the golems like flashes of light. Each swing shattered another crystal body, filling the forest with a chorus of breaking stone and glowing fragments. As the dust settled, he stood in silence, his breathing steady. The shadow dragon energy slowly faded from his body, leaving faint ripples of blue light swirling around him. His eyes stayed sharp, scanning the wreckage for any remaining threats. When the final crystal fell apart, he lowered his sword, exhaling softly. The dragon aura still coiled faintly around his arms, proof of the overwhelming power he now controlled. Even the horned woman watching from afar couldn't hide her smirk. The boy had grown far stronger than before.